You know a lot about golf.
Well, we're waiting.
And we are those weekend golf guys. But you know that, don't you? John Ashton here in studio. Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek, the Plain and Simple Golf School in Columbus. It's turning into wintertime. Post-Thanksgiving, pre-Christmas. Everybody's got all kinds of holiday stuff on their minds.
Yeah.
And for the most part, unless you live in Florida or Arizona, Southern California,
yeah.
and if you do, you're probably going, I can still play golf. Nanny boo-boo.
Yeah, those are our friends out there.
Yeah,
Well,
we need an invite, guys, but it's a little chilly. And some of our friends in Minnesota and other places along the upper tier of states have already packed them up and put them away in mothballs for the next 3-4 months. I'm talking golf clubs, of course.
yeah.
Which
But
is
there's
sad.
some indoor facilities, you know.
There are. And we're
They
going to
can-
talk to a guy coming up in a little bit, too, from Mt Laurel, New Jersey. I said Cherry Hill, and he got very upset with me. Mt Laurel, New Jersey, with the Golf Performance Institute, which from the pictures I've seen and the stories I've heard is one phenomenal indoor facility.
Gotta love it. Somebody's got the right idea and saying, hey, look, we got wintertime, we got golfers. Let's put those two things together. Let's get them indoors and let's get them practicing. Let's get them paying attention to what it is that can make them better. I love the fact that people get the idea to do that.
You know, indoor facilities like this GPI in New Jersey and like your facility at the Golf Cave there are pointed toward learning. Now, there are other places, like we've got a couple here in town, indoor golf facilities, which have, I think there's 6 or 8 bays with simulators in each one. Software where you can choose, one of 35. I mean, you can play St. Andrews if you want to, or that's just entertainment. And I feel sorry for those guys because while it's fun to play golf on a simulator, if you have the option to spending 2 hours indoors at a golf simulator or 4 hours outdoors at a golf course, most people who are serious about golf are going to opt for the 4 hours outdoors.
Yeah, that's why they make planes and rental cars and hotels, and that's why the businesses stays. The South stays in business.
Right. But I mean, even here in town where it does become, let's say, probably 65-70% of the time from now through the end of February, middle of March, you're going to have days where the weather is too cold or too inclement to actually play outdoors. That's where, the golf junkies go to the indoors. But when the weather gets nice, even if you have the choice in the same town, go to the indoor or the outdoor facility, you're gonna opt for the outdoor most often. I just think guys who have indoor entertainment only facilities are missing the boat, I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
That's where I'm fortunate. I have both. When it's good weather, we're out.
Yeah.
When it's not very good weather, we're in.
Yeah.
The fun never stops.
24/7, 365, veritable cornucopia of golf stuff. It's the first time this Thanksgiving season I've actually gotten to use the word cornucopia.
I'm glad that we could provide you the opportunity.
I try to work
I
it
just
in
think
at
of all
least
those
once.
lousy vegetables that fall out of that thing. They have that picture in your head.
That's it.
You have all these squash and all those dimpled little things rolling out of this.
That's right. You look
Yeah.
at it and you go, oh my gourd. First bad joke of the day. Hang on, people. There will be more.
That's right. Don't worry.
You're not an indoor golf entertainment facility. I mean, you're not there at the Golf Cave for someone to come in and play 18 holes at, Crooked Stick on a golf simulator.
That's not something that I really try to promote. I've had people that want to do that, but they're not interested in doing that at paying my lesson fee, and so I have to be here anyway.
Yeah, right.
The equipment's not cheap, and I don't want anybody in here without it. So they're paying my lesson fee, and they quickly don't want to do that without getting a golf lesson. So which is great because I'm really busy with golf lessons instead of just a bunch of guys want to drink beer and hit a ball into a screen and watch where it goes.
Watching guys do that. That's
right.
But I mean, that's good too because when you play, and I got to tell you guys, I have played outdoors a round of golf with Jeff. And you can turn that into a learning situation just by paying attention, asking a question. So playing indoors with Jeff right there watching, or any PGA instructor worth their salt watching, is, I don't want to say priceless, but worth every penny. You don't only get to tune up your game, but you get to keep sharp and you get to learn new stuff.
as long as you get somebody that you can communicate well with, who really understands and can see the big picture and then also see some other small things, it's important to know that that's how you can get some help on the golf course. But it's got to be somebody who's really, truly qualified and not just, well, my buddy tells me, that I'm doing this. Well, maybe that thing you're doing is actually part of what you ought to be doing.
Yeah.
And maybe it's, but a lot of people who don't know, they just pick one thing that they think is going on and act like that's the demon, and it might not be at all.
Yeah.
And so you gotta play golf with somebody who's qualified to help. Otherwise, you're not really getting help.
Or qualified to help, because you like the story I tell all the time is, one of my reactions to a bad shot is, "Oh, John, what are you doing?" And then I have to point out to the friends around me I'm playing with, guys, that was a rhetorical question. I don't need y'all to give me your opinions. Thank you very much.
But then don't ask.
But they will always offer them. So, but when you're with someone qualified to answer the question, ask it, as often, as early and as often as possible. Don't wait.
Yeah. And
don't feel bad. Hey, we've got, like I said, we've got Bret Michener from Golf Performance Institute in Mt Laurel, New Jersey, going to come on and talk about a fantastic indoor facility. We're going to talk a little bit about just what indoor golf equipment is like and how it works, because we've got a guy who's on the board of one of the companies here. All right? So we're going to talk about that, too. All coming up very shortly with those Weekend Golf Guys. Don't move. We'll be right back. You checked out our Facebook page yet? It's facebook.com/golf guys. Go there and like us. Please. We need the affirmation.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Hey, Jeff, I got to come to you, man. I need some help. Out playing golf last weekend, 4 of us, at least 2 of them, outdrove me on a regular occasion.
To pick up your club head speed, I have found these training aids that are just the world's best thing I've ever seen. Super Speed Golf has some training aid sticks, and they've got this beautiful training program that goes with them that you can get online. My clients have picked up a lot of club head speed and a lot of distance in a relatively short period of time. I'm more impressed with this than I am with anything else that I've ever seen on the market to make people swing their club faster. And we all know that's what, one of the big factors in producing distance.
That's right. Faster equals longer. That's what I'm looking for, man. Longer.
That's right.
By being faster. Super Speed. What's the website? Where do I go?
Superspeedgolf.com. Go to superspeedgolf.com. Pick up some of these sticks. Go through their training program. It is eye-popping how much distance you'll pick up.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobetes is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobetes for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 90. 293.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking no BDs, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just one day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobides isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobides now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
Hey, thanks for hanging through the break. We are back. John Ashton in studio. Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek, the Plain and Simple Golf School. Together, those weekend golf guys, or the weekend golf guys, whichever one you want to use, we're cool with. We were talking about playing indoors or using downtime, meteorologically speaking, in the wintertime. Rather than putting the clubs away, just find some indoor space. And there's a lot of them creeping up. Many golf courses have an indoor. I know I've got a buddy up in Medina, Ohio, that has a golf course up there. That's right outside Cleveland. Winter is brutal right outside Cleveland. But
Yeah,
he's got
sure
about
is.
4 simulators up in his clubhouse. So you may find somewhere in your town, no matter where it be, that some enterprising golf person has gone out and stocked up on a couple of simulators. Now, I know we saw a bunch of simulators at the show last year, and I'm anxious to see what's new and improved. But you do a lot of work with Foresight, which is not only the brand of simulator you have and the launch monitors and all that kind of good equipment, but it's the stuff that our new friend Bret up in New Jersey, who we'll be talking to on the air here in a little bit, uses also. What kind of stuff does that tell the average guy, or do you need someone trained to translate when you start?
Well, there's
using...
a couple things that the average guy can get out of it right away, and all he has to do is just look at it and think for a minute. The one that I have, the Foresight Sports GC2 launch monitor, also has a simulator package with it, and it shows the shots that are on the screen. Mm-hmm. You hit the shot. The machine reads the ball, and it tells you exactly what the ball's doing. And because it's so stinking accurate, as a teacher, I love it. But let's just say that it's just a guy walking in here, and he says, all right, I want to hit some golf balls, and I want to see what I can learn. And what he'll quickly see is his pattern. Because if you turn it on, there are some settings that you can put it on where every shot has a trail coming off the ball,
right,
like a little comet trail kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That you can keep that trail on the screen, shot after shot after shot after shot. So you can look at your patterns, and you can see, well, clearly I have an off. John, you could walk in and look at your shot pattern and look at it and go, wow, my wedge, I'm mostly pretty straight.
Yeah.
And I'm on target a lot. My distance is varied though, because I can see that after 10 shots.
Mm-hmm.
As I get up to an 8-iron, I start to spray it a little bit. And then some are left and some are right. And then I get to a 5-iron in my hand, and I got mostly of them curving right.
Yeah.
And then you start seeing those patterns.
Right.
So a guy who's paying attention, doesn't have to be a teacher, just a guy who's paying attention in the shot simulators, if the ball flight is pretty darn accurate, they could begin to see and then begin to deal with their shot pattern. You go, wow, it's a pretty steady thing here when I get this 5-iron in my hand. It starts off a little left, then it curves a little right, and it's off the green and a problem. So then the guy could then figure out, what do I need to do to fix that, and start creating the opposite shot. And that's the part where you start looking for a teacher.
Yeah. Why is it doing that, and how do I make it stop?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But you can learn things. Your carry distance per club. And how you can figure that out.
As a teacher, man, can you know more about how to answer the why is it happening and how to make it stop by looking at the numbers that you get off of the equipment than you could by watching me swing my club?
To some degree, yes. Those things are not telling you why something happened, but they're telling you what happened.
Okay.
Because they're measurement devices. They're tools.
Right.
The why it's happening is more on the teacher than it is on the tool. But sometimes the tools can tell you the ball spins a lot, right? And then if you understand a little bit about physics, you'd know then your club head had to be swiping across the back of it to the left and spinning it that way.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know, and it's a teacher, then the teacher knows.
Right.
And then he could tell you what you need to do to change it.
Right.
But if you just understood your own patterns, then you'd have to figure out,
and
what are you going to do? What are you going to do to fix it?
And I'm sure once you worked on a somewhat regular basis, even as a non-teacher, maybe not even a terribly accomplished golfer, you would be able to figure that out.
Yeah, I would think so. If because if the stuff stays on the screen and you just looked at it,
right?
And went, wow, look at all those shots; they look the same.
Yeah.
Let's try to make it do something different. Then you'll try something different.
Yeah.
And then you'll begin to dig it out of the dirt, so to speak, like they did in the old school days when they didn't have things that could tell them what's going on.
If they could just
and they didn't have teachers everywhere.
They're great pieces of equipment for learning, but they do have one serious drawback if you're using it as a replacement for playing golf outdoors during the wintertime, is they have yet to develop a way to emulate putting on one of those things.
Yeah, it's really impossible.
Yeah.
So it's best to just put it on auto putt or two putt or something like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because it's not designed for that.
No.
They're golf ball readers. You could fake it, but it's just not the same thing.
Yeah. That's it. Indoors practice, play, fun, work. It can be a whole lot more. We're going to talk about it some more, too, coming back up right here on Those Weekend Golf Guys. We're coming back. Don't you move. ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com. Jeff's Quick Fix. It's a tab. You can't miss it. Go there and just get yourself a little video. Send it up to Jeff. He will respond directly. You may even hear about yourself on the radio. We want to get it fixed, whatever the problem may be. Jeff's Quick Fix at ThoseWeekendGolfGuys.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-554-4183 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Jeff, you've seen me miss. Good news is I didn't 3-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it. The Putting Stroke Teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway. Just
Open up
get
the
it.
box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com. And we are back, those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio, Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek, and we both would like to collectively let you know we are those weekend golf guys and urge you to download our free app so you can listen to us anytime you want to, whether to this week's show or last week's or all the archived shows, and a lot are available through those weekend golf guys app. It's absolutely free. You can download it from the Google Play Store or from the iTunes Store without any problem. So do it.
Is that like a Throwback Thursday special?
Yeah, what is this TBT stuff? It took me a while to on a Throwback Thursday. Who cares? Who started that?
I don't know.
What we're talking about is how to avoid the frustrations of staring at your golf clubs with little to do for the next couple of months. For those of us who live in areas where it gets a little too cold, too wet, or too frozen to actually
you can only
play
clean
outdoors.
them so many times.
You can, yeah.
You know.
And then
you stand there in front of the television. You got your stance. You got your club in your hand. You got your waggles. You know, you got your fake golf swings that aren't full speed, and because you're in the house, and you know you get killed if you do.
Well, you know when the winter has been too long, just walking through the aisles of any store, especially if it's a guy shopping with his wife, because you'll see these guys as she's leafing through the racks of stuff to buy. He's just sitting there doing a golf swing.
Yeah.
You see
He's
that all the
standing there,
time.
his hands. You see him, even though they're sitting there and they got their head down, they're sitting there. They got their elbows on their knees and they got their hands, together. And you know who's a golfer because they instantly put their hands together in in the form of their own golf grip. They do it every time.
If the little finger is overlapping, then you know you got a golfer you're talking to there.
Yeah, all the time.
But how about for those of us who have been banned from the living room with our golf clubs?
Go to the den.
Basements work if the ceiling's big enough. Garages work if you can keep the cars out of them.
If it's not snowing out, they move the cars out and they go in there and they just swing.
But I would imagine most golf courses in areas where they have extended periods of time when it's too cold to play outside make some accommodation for playing inside, because you can't live on just the restaurant and the bar alone during the times when people can't play golf. So you have to have something to attract people, and there are indoor facilities. So what would you suggest we look for in an indoor facility to keep things sharp?
At the bare minimum, to keep things sharp, let's just think about it like, if there's people that have done this in their own garage, and I've recommended a handful of things to people to start out with effectively, $20 worth of gear to get going. If you think about this, if you move your car out of the garage and then you have this big open space and it's tall enough, you can sit in there and make some golf swings. So what if you went to the local nothing or other store, and got yourself a couple of doormats, those rubber ones, that usually have some sort of theme pictures or whatever, on the top, but they're rubber on the bottom. And you get two of them because you need to be at the same height. So you stand on one and you swing and you hit nothing, off the bottom, off the other one, so you can make swings. So that way you're not banging your club into the concrete floor in the garage.
Yeah, that could ruin both the club and the concrete.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. So you do that. To add, a good another $2, $3, $4 to this, you hang up a bed sheet on the garage door rails because they're above you, and you just use some clothespins. Go get yourself a bed sheet, not a brand new one, guys. Don't get the new ones, okay? Do yourself a favor. Spill some coffee or something on one of the bed sheets, so then it's stained. Now that you have a stained one, and instead of using that, you'll hang it up now.
Right.
And then you can go get some of those foam golf balls that they sell.
Uh-huh.
You know, a lot of those same kind of stores, you know, big box type of store
Yeah.
that sell foam ones. And you hit the foam ones into the bed sheet. Now all of a sudden you're staying loose. You know, you've got something to strike. It's going to fly and it's going to hit something, and at least it's going to hit a hanging bed sheet, and it's foam to begin with. So no, it's not a golf ball, and no, don't hit real golf balls into the bed sheet, because what happens is you'll hit it hard enough that the bed sheet will pull off of the clothespins that you've hung it with, and then it will put a hole in the wall in the garage, and you will never live it down. I am not speaking from experience.
Oh, no, not at all.
I am speaking from the experience of one of my students.
That's right.
That's right. So
one must learn from the mistakes of others at all times.
That's right.
Hey, when we were at the show last year, we saw a simulator in a box for $3.99.
Yeah.
It came with a little video projector. Actually, it didn't come with the video projector. It basically was just the software and the launch monitor and a screen.
Yeah,
you had to plug it into a video projector that you had to get on your own. But still,
or you plug into a TV.
Yeah, you can plug into a TV if you know you want to be able to hit it and then look. But if you want to have the course, the hole you're playing directly in front of you, if you had a video projector, which you can get, you know, I think they're like $90 now, you could set up your garage that way, couldn't you? I mean, those are those accurate enough to give you some idea? I mean, because launch monitors are a great product. Go for like, you know, $10,000 or something.
They do.
But this is $3.99. Is it anywhere near close?
Yeah, you know, it's not bad. That's adjustable per club.
Okay.
Meaning that you can kind of calibrate it. You can, you know, stand up there and swing your 7-iron, and you can kind of calibrate it so it'll produce about the same number that you're used to. So it will be, let's say, 75% accurate, right?
Okay.
To maybe 85% accurate. You can get it to about that range. And for most people, for that kind of money, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I like it. You know, it's a club reader, and so you swing and it tells you if your face is pointed to the right or pointed to the left or pointed straight, and it tells you whether your club's moving to the right or straight or left. I don't know what else you could ask for that kind of money.
Yeah.
Really, you can't, you know, people will say, well, I don't think it's all that accurate. But then if you calibrate your clubs and you take the time that it takes to do that, you know, it's probably half hour or so for your whole set, you're a whole lot closer than what you think. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty good. And you can sit there and practice on their electronic range and practice on their electronic golf course. And you can certainly keep things going during the wintertime.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more fun than just sitting there in your living room moving your arms.
Yeah, you know, and there's another one on the market now that's up to about $2,000. So it's kind of the upper end of a homeowner grade product, but you know, it's pretty darn accurate. It's a ball reader. It doesn't read the club. It's a ball reader.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting because it's got really good graphics, and it runs off your tablet. They got it hooked up to a simulator company that does video games that are built for computers and tablets, so the graphics are really good.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you call that piece of equipment that goes with your Xbox that you put in front of it?
That Kinect camera?
Yeah, that Kinect. Yeah. You get Tiger Woods Golf and the Kinect, and you got a simulator, but you just can't use real clubs. But you can keep your form.
Yeah, you can. The trouble is that it's not overly accurate. It measures what your body's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
But the ball's always responding to the club.
Right, not your body.
And so, but it is something that you could use to keep loose.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's not overly expensive.
Yeah.
I think the Kinect camera, I think those are, I don't know, $100, $150 or something.
Yeah, something like that. You know, a lot of times you can get it as an add-on. Cheap if you buy it as a bundle. I guess if you get the Xbox One now, do you have to get a new connector, or is it going to work with it?
No, I think that there's different. I think there's a Kinect camera that works specifically with the Xbox One, and I think that there's like an adapter for the other one.
Well, let's hope so. Speaking of adapting, we're going to go talk to a fella up in New Jersey at Golf Performance Institute in Mt Laurel up there, who's adapting everybody's life to working indoors during this time of year. And we're coming right back with that. Hope you come back to hang out, because we will be right back. We're all This Weekend Golf Cast. Don't you move.
Now there's a martini that improves your driving. The new Martini Golf Tee actually gives you longer, straighter drives compared to old-fashioned wood tees. It's virtually unbreakable, made in the USA, and conforms with USGA rules. Get yours today at martinigolftees.com. So improve your driving with a Martini. The Martini Golf Tee. Visit martinigolftees.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Jeff, you've seen me miss.
Yeah.
Good news is I didn't 3-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
You know, I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter faces lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it. The putting stroke teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway.
Open up the box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com.
If you're diabetic, this message could change your life. Is your blood sugar out of control even when you do all the right stuff? Are you afraid of diabetic blindness and the risk of amputation, as well as all those other side effects? Well, you should be. Is there anything that could help manage your blood sugar? Nobites is a natural supplement that may quickly and dramatically lower your blood sugar.
My name is Bob Corder. I've been using Nobites for about 3.5 to 4 months now. And in the first 3 months, I've actually lowered my blood sugars from 500s down to 139, and then it dropped to 88 to 93.
My name is Kirsten. I'm a type 1 diabetic, and while taking Nobites, my blood sugar levels dropped from 295 to 115 in just one day.
The FDA hasn't evaluated these statements, and Nobites isn't intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. But for many, it's helped drop their blood sugar. So if you've been evaluated with high blood sugar, don't delay. Evaluate Nobites now. Call 800-553-0803 and get your free bottle. Just cover shipping and handling. Call 800-553-0803. That's 800-553-0803.
And thanks for hanging with us. We are back. We are those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio. Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek. He's jealous. He's just seen the pictures of the Golf Performance Institute, affectionately referred to as GPI in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and he wants to go. We have with us the CEO of GPI, Bret Michener, on the line with us. Bret, happy weekend. Thanks for coming in with us on those weekend golf guys. How you doing?
Thank you very much for having me.
Our pleasure, totally, man. Now, you are what you call a large indoor golf facility. You know, let's say, what do you have, about a 3-4 month season where you would be the best choice for a golfer?
Yeah, it's at least that, especially April rains. Our spring kicks off really May in this area, weather depending. So it's a good 4 or 5 months where you are relegated to indoors.
So let me just ask you the thought process that you went through before, because it's a bit of a commitment, because you have multiple Foresight golf simulators up there, which ain't cheap. You use K-vests and all that kind of good stuff. You've got health and fitness areas. You've got party rooms. What was the thought process when you sat back and said, hey, this sounds like a good idea. Let's make this commitment and go for it?
Well, I wish it was quite that simple, but it really started out with us looking from the physical therapy standpoint. Myself, my partner, we've been practicing physical therapy for 15 years. He's also an athletic trainer, and I'm a strength and conditioning specialist. So working with athletes, junior athletes, amateur athletes was always something we did on the physical therapy side. And we got into the biomechanics of golf and really looking at the evaluation process and how people move, which is really the hammer that we wield every day in physical therapy land. We tried doing this as under the umbrella of physical therapy and, had good success. We were making good changes, changing people's biomechanics. They were producing on the golf course better, but we were still only getting to a very select population, and basically those who were injured, who then ended up in one of our physical therapy clinics. A few years ago, we came to the crossroads of, all right, well, are we going to take this out of what we're doing as just kind of a side project and take this to the masses? And in doing so, we couldn't do it solely on the biomechanics. Most people don't really understand what we're talking about when we say that anyway.
Right.
Introducing simulated golf, which people understand, and allowing a place to practice. We have indoor putting and chipping to be able to practice with a purpose, and that's something we are constantly harping on all of our members. And we'll walk by if we see them hitting. The question is always, all right, what are you working on? Because you're not just going to come in here and hit 300, 400 balls because we've learned that that's not the best way to do it. We want you to be practicing. So we have all these bays with technology that cost us a lot of money to do. However, we need to measure. We need to objectify everything that's happening, and that's really where this was, born from. Okay, well, we can't have one; we have to have three to be able to service our members, and where we think we're going to take this, and then have dedicated fitness areas because that's the world that we come from.
Oh, Jeff, you can relate to that whole practice with a purpose thing. I mean, neither of you guys allow just fun to go on, right?
No, as a matter of fact, in my studio, I get people that want to come in just to play indoor golf, and I don't do that.
Yeah.
I teach in here. We use, it's a tool that I have, and yes, there's a simulator component to it, and yes, that's a lot of fun. But I've got a space for three different people can hit, but this is a teaching environment. This is a learning environment. This is we're going to do this to get better, instead of it just being, hey, I want to go slap a ball around in a simulator for a while. And you got to be a little bit more serious about your game. And the people who are willing to do that in the off season, they're always going to come out of the spring ahead of the game, and they're going to be a lot better off because they paid attention to something that was really matter, and we could quantify things. It really matters.
Hey, Bret, do you find a lot of people or some people might come in and I guess a good way of putting it, maybe get bitten by the bug that weren't really serious when they got there but realized what could happen and suddenly develop an attitude that makes everybody get better?
Absolutely. And I would say probably 25% of our current membership are golfers. They're beginners. They came in and said, I want to learn, and this looks like the best way to shorten the learning curve and learning a game that takes years and is very difficult to master.
Mm-hmm.
We have a good number of them saying, okay, this is the push I needed to here I can be in I can come here 7 days a week. We have locker rooms, so you're out the door and back to work, and nobody actually knows where you were because you don't have to spend 4 hours here. You can come in and practice and hit some balls and be out at a respectable lunch hour or two. So we have a good number of absolute beginners here.
And you were saying that you don't necessarily have golf instructors on staff, but you open up to any and all golf instructors in the neighborhood?
Yeah, absolutely. And we work with the area's best teaching pros. That list is growing, literally by the day because we're still fairly new to the golf industry. So we're still finding, okay, who's teaching at a high level, what coach is more appropriate for the beginner, for the junior, for this person or that person, and really learning, those personalities to kind of mesh them together so we get a really good result. We are fostering the team environment too, and I don't want it to make it sound like we're trying to teach golf. We're not. We're a part of the team, and we offer the health and fitness side, and then we bring in other pros, all our teaching pros from the outside to do literally everything that we do. So we always are trying to find that great team for that particular golfer.
One of the problems with golf is a lot of us approach it as a game, not as a sport, because I have long said that anything you can do while drinking beer has got to be a game. But
you notice that the people at the top level, they don't do it while drinking beer.
Exactly. And that was going to be my question. With all the health and fitness outlets there and the professionals and guidance and everything, Do you find that a lot of people, finally it dawns on them that, hey, this is a sport, and not only do I need to work on this technique, but if I just got stronger, more limber, and worked on the health and fitness areas of my body, that it goes hand in glove with this whole golf thing?
Oh, absolutely. And we pull no punches when we say this is, we are evaluating you in order to develop a golf-specific training program for you to obtain your goals. This is not come in here and just play for fun. That's really not what we're set up to do. We're set up to deliver an extremely high level of fitness for people who are serious about improving their game, getting back to where they were, or learning the game.
One of the things that we notice a lot is golf is cool for high school kids to play. Do you find a growing number of juniors actively pursuing golf?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's our largest sector of our membership. This winter, we'll have at least right around 100, if not more, juniors through here per week.
Ooh.
And that's that was year one we did that. I mean, they're dying for the game, and we hear, hey, he's given up baseball or she's given up this sport because they want to dedicate their time to golf. Now we're very careful depending on the age of them because we want our 15, 16, 17-year-olds saying that. We want our younger golfers. We need to make you into an athlete first.
Right.
Which means we're going to teach you all kinds of different sports. If you're not playing them outside of here, we're going to teach you how to swing a tennis racket and a baseball bat and hit off a tee and work on hand-eye coordination because those are all fundamental aspects that you're going to need and going to pull into your golf swing.
For folks who are listening outside of Jersey, Bret, do you have any advice on someone who says, wow, this sounds like a good idea, I want to try to copy it?
I would suggest that, of course, nobody reproduce this. Come work with us. We'd love to partner. If you have an area with great teaching pros and great junior golf and, people who want to learn the game, we'd love to come to you.
So Jeff, juniors comprise a good portion of your student body. Any advice? Do you recruit actively out of you do, Jeff, don't you? You work directly with high schools. Bret, do you any direct involvement with the high schools in the area?
We only a couple.
Okay.
We are reaching out and trying to get as many in here as we possibly can. Obviously, New Jersey is the most densely populated state, so we have every town basically around us has at least one high school, if not more. So we are certainly seeking out those juniors and the ones who have not found us and tell their coaches. We had a couple high schools through here last year that did their tryouts here because April was just a terrible month last year. It was, in the low 40s and rain.
Yeah.
We were happy to have them here and watch them go through tryouts and see what they were trying to do and trying to, instruct their kids on.
Because you've got multiple Foresight units in there and plenty of space, it seems like you're perfectly set up to have ongoing skills competitions.
Yeah, we have a junior league that's starting next week. That a lot of our kids are from 8 on up, 8 to 15 basically is the majority of them that are coming in to play, get some competition in and continue that stuff over the winter. The kids in the Northeast really, are at a disadvantage from a golf standpoint unless they live right around here and are willing to drive to us because they end up putting their clubs down for 3-4 months. And that, then your level of competition, you're dealing with kids from the South and the West who they don't ever have to put their clubs down.
Yeah,
so we're hopefully going to, over time, level that playing field for them. So
that'd be great, man. Bret Michener, the CEO of GPI Golf Performance Institute in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And the website's gpinj.com, right?
Yes, and we're actually technically in Mt Laurel, although Cherry Hill's very close by.
Well, that's true. Those of us who are 1,000 miles away from you, it's close enough. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, everything's close in South Jersey.
yeah, but for those locally, I defer.
No, most people from outside of this area know Cherry Hill. That's usually the landmark I use when I tell them where we live and where we're located.
That's it. Plus, it's fun to say. All right, Bret, man, great to meet you, man. Hopefully we'll be able to come on up and check you out live and in the flesh. We get to New Jersey every now and again, and now that we're in Philly on the radio, we got an excuse. Bret, good to meet you, man, and we'll have you back. Good luck, and I know you're busy getting everybody in at the end of the year, and if you're a junior, you want to learn how to play, you want to just keep sharp, you want to get in shape, sounds like a perfect place to go, guys. So give him a call at Bret Michener at GPI. And you hang out with us because we will be right back. We are those weekend golf guys powered by Golf Talk America. Don't you move.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Then get on board with the Tax Admiral and let us steer your way to financial freedom.
The IRS is the largest collection agency in the world. They can freeze your bank accounts, seize your car, home, will garnish your paychecks and benefits.
Don't take on the IRS alone. I can fight for you using industry secrets that can help stop the IRS. I'll cut your penalties, slash your interest, and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company with over 30 years experience helping people clean up their mess with the IRS. And we have a 95% customer satisfaction rating.
If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS, are facing an audit, a lien, or levy, then call me right away.
Call 800-329-2708. Again, that's 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708. 800-329-2708.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. Operators are waiting at 800-554-4183 to take your call now. Call 800-554-4183. That's 800-554-4183. Again, 800-554-4183.
Jeff, you've seen me miss.
Yeah.
Good news is I didn't 3-putt but one green my last round, but I'm still missing by an inch or two left or right. Man, I need some help. What do you got? Teach me, buddy.
You know, I'll tell you what. The first thing that I do with all my clinics when we're working on putting, I break out the putting stroke teacher every single time. We put this thing on. Their forearms are lined up. Their putter face is lined up in the same place. It's the straightest putt you'll ever hit. It's unbelievable. And then I'll teach you how to aim after that. But you go get it, the putting stroke teacher, tpsteacher.com. Go get one. Cheap and effective.
I like
Gotta
that.
love it.
Cheap and effective.
You're not kidding. This thing is absolutely one of the best things I've ever seen.
And it's easy to understand?
Absolutely. Strap it onto your putter and go.
Don't need
Real
you
simple.
standing over me to tell me how to use it.
No, you don't want me barking at you anyway.
Open up the box.
tpsteacher.com.
Make it work. tpsteacher.com. And we are here, those weekend golf guys. John Ashton in studio, Jeff Smith at the Golf Cave at Otter Creek. And we've been talking about how to get yourself in shape or to stay sharp during the wintertime, because it's beginning to get frustrating. Some of our buddies up in New England have already seen their first snowfall. In the Midwest, if you're in Oklahoma, hang it up, buddy. You have hung up your golf clubs and pulled the snow shovel down. Hopefully you went out and got that snow. It's no fun at all, man.
I know it.
And even
snowblower time.
And even in Texas, man, you're dealing with ice. Come on.
Yeah.
Ice and water again. It's just ridiculous. We still got some folks in Florida who are saying, not here, guys. Come on down.
Hey, come on. Hey, sounds like global wetness to me.
And Arizona's cool too, but we're dealing not with those of whom we are jealous that they are still out playing golf. We're dealing with those of us who are trying to find some alternative. And we've been talking about indoor golf, about golf simulators, about playing indoors, about finding a teacher with an indoor facility. But now let's talk about golf simulators in general. Are there any golf simulators that the average guy can afford to use, can afford to buy?
Yeah, there's a few of them. I'll mention two. We talked about them a little bit. One of them is a lower end thing that almost anybody can use, because it's just, you just run it right through your laptop computer, and it's not so graphically intense that it requires you to have some graphics card of, gamer quality and all that stuff. You don't have to have that. And you plug it in, and it's a USB connection right to your computer. You swing your club and it reads the club, and you got some software that you download offline, and next thing you know, you're practicing golf. And the thing's only like $400, and the thing's called an OptiShot.
Now, doesn't that also have a Bluetooth connection? You could use it with your phone. That sounds familiar, because really cool. I got one from Verizon, and
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, it gives you a 3D representation, and it does it from a little gizmo that goes on your hand, not from any pictures it takes of you, which is good.
I think that's a ZEP.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. A ZEP.
Yeah, and it's basically it reads where your hands are going and how fast they are and how fast the rotation of them is and all that, and it can tell you all kinds of things about what you're doing with your hands.
Right.
Which then can tell you what you're doing with your club.
Right.
And there are also little things you can clip on your club. And Sky Pro has one. It's called a Sky, I think it's Sky Coach or Sky Pro, I think is what it is. Yeah, Sky Pro. And you clip it onto your club, and it tells you what you did with your club. And then there's one called the Swing Bite, and it tells you what you did with your club, and it tells you how fast it moves. It tells you what angles it moves on. It tells you where in the swing it's moving faster and where it's slower, and it kind of shows you a 3D representation of it. It's pretty cool, really. You can use these tools that are out there available, in the retail market, and the things I just mentioned, the Zep and the Swing Bite and the Sky Pro. I think they're all under $200.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I know the Zep was like $109 or something retail price, very affordable.
Yeah, and then they you stick it on you clip it on your golf glove. And I actually use one here in the golf studio to make a point with people about how they're moving their hands.
I don't know, would your hands move the same way if you were swinging in a golf swing holding a broom handle as opposed to holding a golf club, or does
it's a little different. The broom handle being as long as it is and as heavy as it is, you'll definitely make different motions.
Okay. When you swing a golf club, does the movement of the head, is there torque on the head that maybe brings your hands along, or is it all dependent upon what your hands do?
It's really totally dependent on what your hands are doing.
Okay. There goes that theory out the window.
Your hands are actually applying the force to the club. And then, keep in mind, in physics, we have for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So, yes, there is
You also have centrifugal and centripetal force. And once they told me those things, I never came back to learn what they were, but at least I remember the words.
At least you pronounce them correctly.
I do.
Terrific. But you realize that you're the guy doing all the work. You're the guy applying those forces to the club to move it. And and then it strikes the ball and then it moves around. So, I mean, you just think about it. You're really generating the action here.
I'm with you on that. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I have no basis for argument, no facts behind me or nothing. I was just axing,
That's okay, but at least you can pronounce centrifugal and centripetal correctly.
Yes, don't ask me for the definitions. Pronunciations I got, definitions not so much.
We don't even need to talk about it. Let's just say we're swinging in a circle circular
motion.
Because it's not really truly a circle because there's an elongated portion and it's really never truly perfectly circular.
Circular
it's like an almost just about, it's similar. As we talk about these different units, they show you what's going on. It's really great.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, you think that what you see is bad, and it might not be bad. What if it's powerful and fast and repeating through that same place? And somebody would say, well, it's a little bit off here or there. How do you know where it's supposed to be for you? Some people think, well, it ought to be coming and going through the same place. I think there's a ton of PGA Tour players out there that might disagree with that. Oddly enough, I'm sitting here in the golf studio as I talk about this, and I'm looking at this collage of pictures that I have of Arnold Palmer. Try to imagine. Do you think that Arnold Palmer, a four-time Masters champion, 1958, 60, 62, 64, do you think that guy's club was coming and going through all the same places? I don't think so. They were coming in from a whole different county. He started it in one place and came in from another, but you know what he did? He repeated it.
He did.
Powerfully.
The question I have about these gizmos that we're talking about that, are very affordable and helpful, do they give you any idea of where the ball would go, though? Or they just give you an idea what you look like swinging?
They wouldn't be able to tell you where the ball would go because they don't really measure the club face.
Right.
They measure the movement of the hand and the movement of the club.
So what do you have to do if you want to get into something that measures the club face or the ball?
Well, that's where I was saying the club face measurement would be that OptiShot that we talked about. That is a thing you set on the ground and you swing over it.
Right.
And it shoots these infrared laser beams up into the air. And when your club breaks the laser beams in a certain order, in a certain pattern, it tells you, it sees how fast the club is moving, what direction the club's moving, but it also sees what position the club face is in based upon how it breaks those laser beams.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
And so that's a club measurement tool, and that because it's measuring what actually happened down where the ball is. That one's going to be the thing that can tell you through some fancy math.
That's right.
Of where your golf ball would go.
You started this conversation talking about OptiShot. I was the one who took it off track talking about the Zep. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
We're back now, and I understand completely. But the OptiShot's an affordable gizmo also. So
it really is.
Yeah.
And then there's some other gizmos out there. There's a couple $1,000 version of a ball reader out there. So if you really, if you got a couple grand to spend, maybe you do.
Yeah. Sure. Let me look in my other pocket. Oh, look at here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there it is. They get this cool thing online now. It's a really good homeowner grade launch monitor. Really, it's a ball reader. And this thing is also from the same company that makes the Sky Pro that we just talked about. It's called the Sky Track.
Okay.
And it's a golf ball reader, and it's a launch monitor, and it comes with its own software, and it works on your iPad. It tells you where your golf ball's going. Doesn't tell you where your club's doing. It's not a club reader. Yeah. It reads the golf ball. And, it's pretty darn accurate. It's there's a couple times where if it's off, it's, pretty off.
Right.
But for the majority of the shots that the average guy is going to be hitting, it'll tell you a lot. And they've got it synced up with a couple of gaming apps. I think World Golf Tour is a video game, golf game thing.
Yeah.
Graphics are fantastic.
Oh, they are. They're beautiful.
And they're synced up with that.
Oh.
So if you get a SkyTrack and spend your couple grand, you can spend a little bit of money per year to play video game golf in your own house. And it measures a golf ball, so you are actually going to be required to hit a golf ball with this simulator.
And you know where you're going, and you can play against other people, and it's really cool. Tell you one thing I want you to do right now, where you're going to go is you're going to go to facebook.com/golfguys and click the like button, just because you're that kind of person, okay? You go and do that. One thing happened. I saw a post today on our Facebook page about a guy who was talking about how he got really lucky, and he got to play at golf in a group with Payne Stewart and Fuzzy Zeller in 2001. At Fuzzy Zeller's club in Ohio.
Wow.
I just couldn't let that go. I had to be the wise guy, know it all. I jumped in and I said, I think you may be mistaken. Payne Stewart passed away in 1999.
I was going to say, how did he do that?
And Fuzzy Zeller's golf club is in Indiana, not Ohio. Hoosiers do not like being confused with Ohioans. Get it straight. So,
yeah, you're right there.
So jump on the Facebook, just be accurate. Or check us out online, thoseweekendgolfguys.com, and also follow us on Twitter at WKND Golf Guys. Accuracy is important, not only in golf, but in life. Live with that. If you can, go play golf. If you can't, go indoors and try not to break a lamp. We will be back next week. Have a great one. See ya.
At St. Jude, families never receive a bill for treatment, travel, housing, or food because the only thing a family should worry about is helping their child live.
Because of you,
there is St. Jude.